Two hip kicks.
I fixed the issue, by the way.
Oh, wow. That was quick.
It was on the board. The board, for some reason, is pulling something in as a Bluetooth, and it's not supposed to. So I've got that fixed. It's working. I can hear you again. Yay!
Yay. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming in. Of course, there were some technical difficulties, as there always is, it seems like, for some reason when you go live. There's always a technical issue. Thank you very much for coming in. We look forward to discussing today's topic, which is pinned at the top of the chat. If you're just coming in, I am Dawn from Two Hip Chicks, and this gentleman over here is...
I'm TC from TKR VideoCentral and the Kirkham Report. Welcome.
Welcome. So we've been doing this show for gosh knows how many, 38 episodes?
So that's over a year then. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, holy moly. Wow is right. That's a lot of time.
Wow, and I still don't have a new office yet.
I'm not going to say a word.
I know.
I might say a few words.
It's getting there.
It's okay. It's okay, sweetie. It's all right. It's how it works. So, welcome everybody. If you're coming in late, that's cool, no problem. If you're coming in after this airs, even better, because you're in for a treat. We are doing a show about, and how did I put this again? It was basically artists that you have discovered or rediscovered by either through movies, other kinds of media, TV, whatever, books even.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just that the list of those that we've accumulated. I've done a few, and Veronica with a K is here. Hey Veronica, welcome, sweetie.
Hey Veronica.
We are doing the show about discovering artists, either from movies or media of any kind, actually. Even YouTube videos count. Even music videos count, I guess. Why not? MTV isn't really a thing anymore, but there are plenty of music videos out there.
Well, it's still a thing. It's just not music television anymore.
Yeah,
it hasn't been music television since about 2002.
Yeah, pretty much. You're looking for music videos, don't go to MTV. You probably won't find them there. There you go. But yeah, so we'd love to hear in the chat what comes to mind as we're going through these. If you've got some that pop in real fast to your brain that you can think of, please don't be afraid to add them to the list, because we're going to try to we'll try to post these lists probably after the show airs, right? We'll put it down in the description area. And
although I don't know how helpful that would be, because it's each of our personal tastes, might be different for everybody else.
Well, yeah, but we can list the artists and maybe the music.
Yeah.
We don't have to necessarily drag people back to the media that you found it in, but finding the artist, I think, would be fun. Maybe.
Yeah.
People might want to check them out. Depending on how well descriptive you are when it comes to why you fell in love with them or discovered them or followed them from that point on or whatever.
Right.
You're on the what do I want to say? You're the guest on my channel today, so you want to start?
Okay.
If you have, we can back and forth it if you'd like.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, when it comes to discovering stuff, I think that the really big trend has been, not in my life because I don't watch it, but the last few years, most people have found older media thanks to the super huge success of Stranger Things that happened this last year when Kate Bush suddenly exploded with a 37-year-old song that had peaked at like number 36 on the chart. It was suddenly in the top 5.
I
which
know,
is
right?
that's the screwed up way Billboard does their charts now. Um,
Yeah.
I have had that experience a few times from various places, and I think the one that I had a really good one with was a movie from, I think it was officially released in 2009. I saw it in 2008 as an advance screening. Gus Van Sant's Paranoid Park. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It is
Yeah.
a top-notch movie. A little mystery going on, although you know what's going on from the beginning. The characters don't always know. Starring a young man who had never acted before named Gabe Nevins as a 15-year-old skateboarder who finds himself in deep water after the death of a security guard. And it was a terrific movie.
Mhm.
And it had incredible music on the soundtrack album, which has never been released in the US. I had to order a copy from the UK to get the soundtrack. Um,
So if people want to get the, because they want to listen to it, can I find it on YouTube or something?
yeah, you can find the songs.
You can
I
find the
can put
songs.
up a
Okay.
list or put up a list of the stuff. But yeah, the soundtrack itself is available as an import now. When I ordered it, I had to order it directly from Amazon UK, which cost
Wow.
me $30 to get it, and now it's like 18. It's cheaper. But
Well, that's good.
two artists that were on that soundtrack, one of whom I've heard of, and the other one I had not heard of, that I have become massive fans of.
Uh-huh.
One, the late Elliott Smith, who
Oh, yeah.
passed away about 2 years before the movie came out, and I was really bummed out when I found that out because I fell head over heels in love with his music. And I've gone back and gotten practically everything he's done since then. And film composer Nino Rota, who did a lot of Italian films in the 40s, 50s, and
Okay.
60s. Van Zant used quite a few pieces of his in this movie. And I was like, wow. I knew, that was, I've heard of him. He'd done all these other films, but never really heard his music until they used it in Paranoid Park. And now I've gone back and found some of his other scores, and just like, this guy was a freaking genius when it came to scoring movies. Elliott Smith is alternative rock. He's really almost folk rock in places.
Okay.
The two songs on the album on the soundtrack are Angelus and The White Lady Loves You More. And I fell both head over heels in love with both of those. Fell in love with those those two songs. And then Nino Rota, as I said, had a couple of pieces. I think they both came from La Dolce Vita, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But great stuff from both of them. And
Okay,
Paranoid
cool.
Park is one of my favorite films of all time, too. So it doesn't hurt that is.
I'll have to
Dawn
check
there.
that out.
Dawn is referring to me talking about Yam House. Yam House was was Minnesota's representative in the American Song Contest last year. And they've been around for years, and they've had a big following in Minnesota. And I had their recent hit Sandcastle on the Power Tracks 50 for a while.
There you okay. I get it now. Well, welcome everybody who's kind of trickling in. What we're discussing today is the artists that you may have discovered or rediscovered due to movies or TV or YouTube or other media, even books, etc. So that's what we're going through. So please feel free to put that stuff in the chat if you've got something in mind. Looks like I see here. Veronica said she had a crush on a guy once who was really into Elliott Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm writing these down as I go because I
Does Patrick know that, Veronica?
Different. That's not Patrick's Veronica.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's Veronica with a C. Different Veronica. But I can understand the confusion. That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So my first when I got so we all have this. I think we all have heard. I mean, Big Chill, right? We've done that. You said, of course, that Stranger Things was a big influence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like Big Chill came out, was one that kind of I remember, and I kind of regress as we go here, but the Big Chill brought the Motown sound back into favor, I guess you could say. So there was a few artists from that, but the one that got me with that one is because I grew up listening to a lot of Motown, so all of those songs were just like stuff I already knew, right? But I was not into the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
So if you remember the Big Chill, the song you play at the funeral
Mhm.
is "You Can't Always Get What You Want."
Right.
Right?
Hmm.
It's done with the choir and the organ and all that. But sorry, my thing just fell over. It's done with the organ and the choir and everything. But I was not that into the Rolling Stones. So then I went back and like, oh my God, that's a Rolling Stones song. So then I found all that and then went back and checked out the rest of it. So
Right.
that was kind of cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was not what you might think of when you think of the Big Chill, but that was one of them.
Yeah,
For
most
sure.
people think of the Motown stuff becoming popular again.
Yep,
So
for sure. And then I got another one on here, which you're a Carpenters fan,
oh yeah,
right? So you remember the of course you remember their Now and Then album.
yeah.
So in that one, if you guys don't know and you don't listen to the Carpenters, they do like a little time retrospective kind of thing where they go back and kind of cover some older songs like from the 50s and 60s,
This is because
right?
they had no time to do an actual album. They decided to do the oldie stuff they were doing on tour.
Exactly. But
Yep.
that album turned me on to Bobby V
Uh
because
huh.
you got that
Yep.
that whole thing going with "The Night Has a Thousand Eyes" was the
Yep.
song, and I'm
Yep.
like, that is such a cool song. Who did that first? So then I had to go back and find it. But and then he's got a whole catalog, and now that I've got some 45s waiting in storage, as they say, I'm finding his stuff, and it's really kind of cool. And that
Mm-hmm.
all happened. I mean, I wouldn't even thought twice about the guy, but that all happened because of the Carpenters of all
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's a great medley, and that came out like right around the same time American Graffiti came out. And so
hmm
my generation, I was 10, I think, when that came out. There was 9 or 10. Everybody, the local radio stations were playing Rock Around the Clock and
Yep.
Teresa Brewer's music again. And
Yep.
while I didn't really get into the 50s music, I've always had a great tolerance for it because of that. My mom
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, I remember those. Those were popular when I was a little girl."
Exactly.
Ugh, Mom, you're old.
Mary, this no, you're not that old. That's okay. Mary says Beverly Hills Cop, the first Beverly Hills Cop, had "Let the River Flow." Oh no, the first. This is separate. I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong. First Beverly Hills Cop brought back a lot of good ones, and I
Yep.
think it's on my list actually, Mayor. So thank you for bringing that one up. Yeah, Patti LaBelle for me, "Stir It Up" was the song on that track or on that
Hmm.
soundtrack, and then of course I'm like, ooh, Patti LaBelle, she's pretty good, and I was not into her before. You'd think I would have been, but my musical tastes and listening habits kind of changed throughout the years.
So
So
did
I was never
she.
really
She
into that.
she went from all different styles of music,
Yeah.
from Motown to
hmm
glam Motown to just being
Yep.
herself there in the 80s. So
Yep. So I
yeah.
rediscovered it in the 80s, which is cool. And then Mary also says "Let the River Flow," which is a Carly Simon song, which is from the
Yep.
soundtrack from Working Girl. And that is a favorite of hers. I know that for a fact because we do listen to that on occasion. For sure. All right. What's your next one, buddy?
Another great movie that I have talked about with you. I don't know if anybody else saw it because we did it. My wife and I tended to see a lot of indie films because we did this film podcast called Subject Cinema for over a decade.
Yeah.
It'll be coming back after the first of the year. And one of the things I got really hyped on when it showed at Sundance was a very dark comedy called Risk Cutters: A Love Story. It's
Oh,
all set.
wow.
It's all set in a limbo known as Suicide Land. And
Trigger warning for all of you out there who might be.
yeah, it's killer funny. It has a great cast, and the music of Google Bordello, who is a Russian band, or Russian, the guy that leads it is Russian at least, is used quite a bit in this movie. And their best known song, "Through the Roof and Underground," becomes the theme song of the three characters traveling from one place to another in this movie. And as a result, I've kind of found them. They're kind of they're a very offbeat, punky, alternative, even a little country some places band. But they're always a great listen, and they are funny too. They have some great fun on stage when you watch them on stage. So yeah, through Wrist Cutters, I found Google Bordello, and that's Gogol,
Oh,
and then
okay.
Bordello.
Not spelled like the Google
No,
search
spelled like the
engine. Yeah.
number. Yeah, spelled like
Oh,
the
okay.
number.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Cool. Looks like Bearded Picker is hanging out in the recliner with the dogs. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. All right, Mary has another one. That one already. Hang on. I lost it. There it is. Blues Brothers movie was also on my list. So good on you, Mary. Mary's now pulling off of my list. We did not compare notes at all. She was off in the garden all day, and I was doing other things, and there you go. So yeah, I also had the Blues Brothers, and I'll tell you a couple off of that list for sure. Where'd it go? It's on I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. That would probably be Ray Charles, right? For one, was not that much into Ray Charles either. Like I said, my musical tastes varied through the years, and Ray Charles just did not. He fell off my radar for some reason. And then, of course, Aretha Franklin. I did know her, but by the time that happened, she was on the Atlantic label, and I really wasn't listening to that much. And then Cab Calloway, which I think, Minnie the Moocher, right?
Yeah.
But also Cab Calloway.
You don't
has a
seem
lot
the
of
Cab
cool
Calloway
stuff.
type to me.
I know, but it's great music. So I kind of
Yeah.
I kind of went that way with just from the Blues Brothers. So yeah, for sure, and a lot of other great ones as well on that one. But those are the three that kind of perked for me on that one. Ray Charles, I really fell in love with because of the Blues Brothers,
Ray
and now I've got a
Charles was
lot of
awesome,
him.
and my mom was a huge fan, so I remember his music being around all the time. And love what I picked up from you on I've got tons of 45s from Ray Charles over the last year or two.
And as do I.
Yeah.
How about share the love? Share the love. Scott's saying Pretty in Pink soundtrack had a song by the Rave Ups. Rave Up, Shut Up. I might have tortured Joni playing that band for over a year. Pretty in Pink did have a good soundtrack too. That, and I think Breakfast Club had a great soundtrack as well. And those came out kind of about the same time. Yeah.
Yep.
There's some good stuff on there as well. Driving it.
All of those John Hughes movies had great soundtracks. So
they did. They sure did. All right, who's next on your list?
I just thought of this, and I thought I'd bring it up because it's a different style of music. But when it comes to movies, again, we saw a documentary once at the Salem Film Fest, which is an all-doc festival we go to every year. We were going to every year before the pandemic. And they had a documentary one year called This Vinyl Weighs a Ton. The story of Stones Throw Records. I knew the band before that. I'd heard them on Spotify on my sampler list, but that movie made me a huge fan of a band called Mayer Hawthorne. They are, it's Mayer Hawthorne, not Meyer like M-E, not like the store.
Not like the store.
It
no.
is. It's throwback, almost 60s kind of soul music.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a funk vibe to it, and they're just terrific. And I've found that I've gotten 2 or 3 albums by them. They had a record store day release a couple years ago, and I listen to them on Spotify all the time. They're terrific, and I really like the sound. I like that old school 70s R&B funk soul vibe. I've always loved that.
Yep.
Al Green's one of my favorites, and a few other people from that era, and they fall right into that. And that's definitely somebody I discovered completely by accident through Spotify, and then seeing them reinforced in that movie. So if you've never heard of them, check out Mayer Hawthorne. They're very worth listening to.
I am, again, as always, when we do this show, making a list. I'm making a list. I'm making a heck of a list.
But are you checking it twice?
And I'm trying to check it twice. All right. So, Angry Otter Comics is here. The Angriest Otter. Welcome, Michael. Don says Arcade Fire. I'm not sure that's the band. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what movie that would be associated. Where did you find them, Don? Just wondering if it was a soundtrack or specific soundtrack or something. Dave the Pickup Artist. Welcome. Momster is also here. Momster's here. Yay.
Hello.
Let's see. And Mary and okay, I'm making sure I got everything. Oh, Veronica says she went through a massive Tarantino phase in college. That's about the right time. I did. I enjoyed. Yeah, I like some weird Tarantino movies, but yeah,
Mm.
there's they had some good soundtracks as well.
They have great soundtracks. I'm not really a big fan of his movies.
Yeah, well, you know, but you'll
Kim
watch
likes them, but I don't
Suicide.
care
What
for
is it?
them.
No, yeah, Risk Cutters Anonymous or something or
Yeah.
whatever that was.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. Angry Otter says, kind of partial to Tron Legacy myself. It should be renamed Daft Punk's Greatest Hits. Yeah, yeah,
Tron Legacy is an awesome soundtrack. I love that.
it is.
I'm not a big fan of the Tron movies, but I love the music from them.
I love Daft Punk. I mean, let's be real. It's that. I don't know. I just like my Daft Punk, but I also like a few other things that's on this list that you're gonna go. Okay, here we go.
I will.
I say hi. Hey, saying hi, Monster, Mr.
Unless
Murphy,
the light is on
Patrick.
there, then I might do that.
Okay, light up the chat. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Dawn, the movie soundtrack you must have is from my movie, Yorktown Movie on Spotify. I'm writing it down, buddy. I'm writing it down. I'm getting it right here. Got it. I'm going to go check this stuff out this week, but we are traveling, so it gives me a chance to check out some stuff while I'm driving around. Not while I'm driving, while I'm riding. There you go. Talking about soundtracks. Yes, today's topic, Patrick, thank you for reminding me to remind everybody else. These are artists you've discovered either from movies or rediscovered even through movies or other media, movies, videos, books, TV, whatever. So that's what we're talking about. Patrick loved Tron Legacy. Yes, good stuff. I discovered Mr. Wives through some random MTV show when they tried to produce actual TV shows and teen dramas. I remember those days. Don't ask me what the show was called. I forgot. Mr. Wives. All right, I'm writing that one down too because I'm going to check these out.
At all. Yep.
I'm going to check these out. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the information. And it's kind of cool because I don't know. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it's my turn. All right, you're gonna all cry and have a fit and kind of die. But remember the show Glee?
Ah!
I knew you'd die. I knew you'd die right there on the spot. If you remember the show Glee, all right. So Glee was an interesting experiment. I don't know what it was, but it was kind of fun. I enjoyed the show. I was turned on to, and believe it or not, I could probably turn in my gate card right now because I did not even know. Well, I knew what it was, but I never was into Broadway music at all, truly, ever. So, I mean, I knew the songs from the Broadway shows that became movies. That's fine, but I wasn't into, Broadway shows. So, they had, what was it? Which song? Oh, it was Gravity. Defying Gravity. Remember that song from Wicked?
Defying Gravity is awesome.
It's a great song. So Idina Menzel,
yep.
She did it. She was, she was in the show on Broadway. So I got turned on to her work, and then of course later on she did the whole soundtrack for Frozen, and all that. But a lot of her work I got turned on to because of Glee, of all things. I know.
Yeah.
What can I say?
That's pretty scary.
They pulled from popular music. They pulled from
from everywhere.
They pulled from everywhere. Country. They did a lot of different things. I know. I'm not saying it was the best show in the world. I'm just saying there was music involved.
Yeah, there was. I used to love Fame, the TV series. I never watched Glee. I just never got into it.
You never watched it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God. Well, we know what to do if we want to torture you someday. We'll just sit you down in front of a TV and video.
I've seen clips.
Video.
I've seen clips. The same reason I've never watched High School Musical. I really have no desire to get involved with that again.
I didn't. That I haven't watched. I can't say I watched that. But
did you see Rent?
Oh yeah, I loved Rent.
Yeah,
but that happened after. Yeah,
that was before Glee. So well before.
It was before Glee, but here's how that fell into place. We had a gay bar down south of here. And we knew some people who were doing a version of Rent, okay, on the stage. So they were going to
That's the best
lip
way to
sync
see it.
Yeah. So they were going to lip sync it. So at some point we got wrapped up with this group, and I ended up showing up for almost every rehearsal or many rehearsals. And then we finally went and saw the show. So by the time we were done with rehearsals, I had that soundtrack pretty much in my head. Because you can only watch people do it so much, right?
Yeah.
It's a great,
favorite Broadway show of all time for me. Loved it.
It was
Saw
great.
it 4
and then
times.
the movie came out, and then the movie, I think this was about the same time the movie came out, actually, because I think they were using the movie soundtrack for their performance. So yeah.
That means they missed half the good stuff.
Well, but it was on the stage. You could only do it for so long.
Yeah.
God. And especially a bunch of people in, lip syncing. It's kind of tough. But yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. Let me go back to the chat a second before we jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Glee version of Defying Gravity. I know. It's not... that was the Glee version, but then I went and found the real version. And the Glee version actually isn't that bad. I have that in my collection.
The music was never that bad. It was the show that I was not very, very fond of.
We're on the same page. Yeah, cool. Yes. I love being on the same page. It did have its moments. Angry Otter says, best Beatles soundtrack movie was the movie Across the Universe. Prove me wrong. I haven't seen it. I'm going to have to. All right.
You should. Across the Universe is a great film, and it's really, considering I really don't, I'm an average Beatles fan. I'm not the fanatic that a lot of the VC is. It was really well done. I thought the movie was great. The soundtrack was awesome.
Check it out. That's cool.
It's way better than anything they did that was called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
I know. Okay. Don says, wake up from the wild world. Maybe it's where the wild things are. Yeah.
The wild where the wind things are?
I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but I think he means where the wild things are. Wake up. I don't know. That one I'm going to write down too. The Brent song stuck in my head. I know.
525,600 minutes.
600 minutes. Yep, exactly. There you go. Believe me, I heard that song multiple times. So
I was working for Transworld when the Broadway score came out. We played that thing to death. We loved it so much. So it was awesome. And I loved it. Like I said, I've seen the play 4 times. So
and then not realizing it, of course, later I found out that what was I want to say here? Excuse me. Yeah, Adina Menzel. She was in the movie version.
She was. Yeah.
I didn't realize that until later, many years later, when I realized that, that's who she was. Yeah, she's got a great voice.
Most of the cast of the original cast was in the movie. There was just a couple of people that were different. So.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd never seen the stage play, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
A couple of soundtracks that led me to becoming big fans of the composers. Okay. I've talked about this so much on my channel because it's one of my all-time favorite scores. But it led me to discover the incredible music of Jerry Goldsmith, and that's Star Trek, the motion picture. It came out in 1979. I just bought the new director's cut of the soundtrack. Wow. Jerry Goldsmith has written some of my favorite scores. I love John Williams. Don't get me wrong. John Williams is awesome, and he's like #1 in everybody's book. Jerry Goldsmith tops him just a tiny bit in my book. I love his score for Explorers was well underrated because the movie didn't do that well. And he's done so much over the years.
You're not going to believe this, but I think Explorers is on my list.
Explorers is on your list?
Yes.
Of what you've heard?
You're talking about the movie where the kids take off in their homemade spaceship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix and Jason Preston.
Yeah, it's on my list, only not for that reason.
Okay. I love the music from that movie as well. The other one that I discovered, and this is more recent, and I found that I've loved everything he's done since, was Michael Giacchino. I first heard him with his soundtrack for Speed Racer in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Fell head over heels in love with his music from that movie. I fell head over heels in love with that movie, so I'm in the minority. I love Speed Racer. I don't like the series. Never liked the series. I love the movie. The But Michael has done Up since then. He's done
Oh.
Star Trek, the 2009 one. So many great soundtracks he's done and scores since then. Everything he does, it always puts a smile on my face. I love the guy. I will go out of my way to see a movie if I know he did the score. So,
oh, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. All right, let me catch up here. Stickerhead. Speaking of musicals, which kind of we are. So a lot. Sometimes it's a musical, and sometimes it's just a movie with music in it. Sweeney Todd is pretty good. I mean,
I'd love to see the stage show right now because I love Gaten Nazarado, and I'd love to see what he's like in that role. Yeah. So, and Josh Groban scares the hell out of me as Sweeney Todd when I've seen him. And man, he is really scary in that.
I've seen some pictures of him doing that role, and
yeah,
he would. Never seen Rent, just paid it. Well, thank you, Scott. That's okay. If you don't like musicals, you probably wouldn't be into it, truthfully, but it's still a good story. Explorers. Oh yeah, Explorers. Yeah, it was a cool movie.
It got the shaft from the critics and the public when it was out. It was a great movie.
It's dated now because the kid's running on a Macintosh or something, but an old style computer. But it's still pretty fun. It was
great, and Robert Picardo's in it.
Yeah, that's right. He's one of the spoiler alerts. He plays a lot of different roles. He plays.
Yeah, he does.
He's clips of the movies they're watching and the videos. Yeah, so he did a good job.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome. Hello. We're talking about. Hey,
Jennifer. Welcome.
What you're coming into, hun, is we're talking about artists that you've discovered or rediscovered from movies, TV, videos, books, whatever, however you found them. We're just talking about those and how we rediscovered or discovered people from this media. The old West Side Story movie. Oh, yeah. The old West Side Story was good.
I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen the old one, so I don't know. We've never
seen the old one?
No, we've never seen it. Neither Kim or I have them. It's weird because we do like musicals and we do like classic stuff.
It's a good movie. I don't think Natalie Wood actually sang in that. I think they dubbed her.
No, she did. She got dubbed.
Marnie
Nixon did her voice.
Somebody else did it, but she wasn't a great singer. But still, it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. Patrick says every time during the Enterprise flyby, the music softened and they round to the front, the epic front shot that scored. Yep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. He does.
Did you see the limited edition vinyl that came out, Patrick? Because it's good. It's awesome. Extra music and everything.
I saw when you showed it for showed it when you got out of the box, but it must be great. Did you listen to it yet?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Mary loves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, there's another one that we were talking about, kind of more popular. Everybody knows, right? Like The Big Chill and the other ones. But
talk about reintroducing the 70s music to the current generation, especially Hooked on a Feeling.
The first movie was pretty much 70s all around.
Yeah.
So Hooked on a Feeling.
You had little kids like here we are in our and we see little 10-year-olds running around going ooga chaka ooga 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 chaka, like, hey, something nice happens to my heart when I see that.
What the heck? Yeah, so a lot of good music on that soundtrack. I've got the first one. I haven't picked up the other two movie soundtracks yet, but they're all good ones. They've got some really good stuff. And I've got a couple. Actually, for me, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had one. Let me pull it.
I haven't seen it, so I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure what's on the soundtrack.
Well, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has Cat Stevens on it. No, 2. Sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, not 3. They're the Cat Stevens songs "Father and Son" at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had never heard that before.
Really?
For whatever reason. I like Cat Stevens, but I guess there's just certain songs out of his that I know. That one, I'm like, holy crap. So then I had to go back and find the Greatest Hits album. And
As I said last week on Obscuria, Cat Stevens is one of my favorite artists of all time. Love the guy.
It's a great song, too. It's just a great song. Let me see. That one. Scream It. I may be wrong, but isn't the most profitable movie soundtrack The Greatest Showman? Is it?
Most profitable? Really? I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't see it having outsold Saturday Night Fever, but You never know. Or Purple Rain, but they could have.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Considering the movie was a bomb.
Yeah, but he's still give the guy a break. Top Gun was another great soundtrack. Every time take my breath away. That's true.
Well, let's be honest here. If you're talking soundtracks, practically every freaking movie that had a soundtrack out in the 80s had a great soundtrack. You had Ghostbusters, The Goonies, Karate Kid, all the John Hughes movies, all the Rocky movies, all of them had great stuff. Even the smaller movies like Zapped and some of the doofier movies had good soundtracks.
Moulin Rouge version of Roxanne gives me goosebumps every time. Ooh, yeah, that is good. I agree with that. That's really good. Is The Wall a soundtrack? I guess you could say it is.
Actually, no, there is a soundtrack album for The Wall. They redid it for the movie.
Yeah. I was going to say the album came out before the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like by more than a year, if I'm not mistaken.
They were working on the movie at the same time that the album was coming out, but it was they did a separate soundtrack type thing for it.
That's another good one. I agree. There's some really great clips on that one as well.
Aunt Boo is here. Hello, Aunt Boo.
Hey, Aunt Boo, welcome, dear. Hello. And little Debbie. Hey, welcome. Eddie and the Cruisers. Yes. That's a good one, actually.
Everybody discovered John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. That movie.
Yeah. I think that the Dark Side was their one big hit, right? And then they did like CITY, which was Hard Times in the City, that one as well.
And Tough All Over was a pretty big hit. And
Tough
those are
But then they kind of went.
Yeah, they're still around though. They still perform. They're still together. So
I always wanted to see an Eddie and the Cruisers too, but you never know. They're making everything now again, so why not? Is it my turn or yours?
I don't care. I just went with this. I did my score people. So are you next?
Oh, you did your score people. Oh yeah, okay, I am next. Because then Mary brought up Guardians and then I jumped in with yes, you're right, I'm next. All right, this one is a little strange. I did this one already. Well, I didn't do there was other artists on Glee, but we'll talk about those later. So we'll come back to those if we have time.
Oh, goody.
Besides, yeah, okay. All right, so I went to the most obscure place I could think of from song-related stuff that I discovered or rediscovered an artist due to a specific type of media, and this media is fan fiction videos on YouTube.
Cool.
Bear with me. So if you know anything about the fan fiction community, there's different, there's slash fiction, there's just fan fiction where people write about subtext in TV or movies, right? So I got into that group for a while. Was checking out it was a whole thing back when Yahoo was a thing. Anyway, but they swap stories, you could go to their sites, etc. But then these people were also making videos. So they take clips from TV shows or movies where the two characters that they wanted to get together were, kind of, you could build chemistry song. So there were some artists that they used that I really kind of discovered. And I got a list. Here we go. Michelle Branch. Found her from those videos. The song Breathe. Calvin Harris and Florence Welch. They did Sweet Nothing. But that was more of a, I don't know if that was an upbeat one or not. Diane Kroll. Who else? Evanescence I found that way, believe it or not.
I love Evanescence. They're awesome.
Great stuff. My Immortal was, I think, the one they used on that one. Everything
it's
But the
about
Girl.
the one that everybody knows.
Yeah, I know, right? Everything But the Girl, Troubled Mind. That was a great one. Garbage, believe it or not. They did one. Somebody did a video with their version of Because the Night. It was great. Okay. So, and then Sarah Bareilles I found that way as well.
I love her. She's awesome.
The song Gravity, which was a great song, and I love that song. So there you go. Even just YouTube videos, people putting together schlock.
That's actually, Kim is a big fan of those, and we've watched our share of those, and I mean, Kim was always like, I really wish I could do these. I don't know how to do them. And I'm like, oh, I could show you, but you'll get like, it's going to take you a long time to put them together, and you can get copyright hits if you're not careful.
Oh, totally. But
So, and she's like, I don't want to do that then.
Hours these people must put into, not only do they probably own the DVD set or whatever, but or they're pulling clips from wherever, because back then I don't think there were streaming services in place where you could just copy stuff. You literally had to buy the DVDs or the tapes. And they're putting these things together, and I'm like, holy crap, it's a lot of time. But they did a really good job. So I'm missing, hold on, I'm jumping around here. So all of those artists I found that way, plus a few more which I didn't list because I didn't have time. Patrick Murphy, nobody's Booker.
I remember Booker.
City. Yeah.
Booker was the spinoff of 21 Jump Street with Richard Grieco. And they did use Hot in the City as their opening theme.
Hot in the City. Yep. Larry said loved Empire Records.
Empire Records is awesome.
Great soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack, great movie. Way underrated film. I was looking forward to the Broadway show, and then the pandemic kind of scotched it. So they were going to bring it to Broadway for its 25th anniversary, and it didn't work. Damn it.
I know. That sucks.
But then again, if I have to sit through Rex Manning Day live in the studio audience, I don't know if I could do that without like throwing stuff at.
They used to make a thing called the TV brick. It was made of foam rubber, but it was
I remember
like a brick. You could throw it at the There you go. There you have it. Veronica loves Evanescence. She loves Garbage as well. Yes, this is a great version. They do some great stuff. Teenage Angst. I know, right? But those videos were usually about people who couldn't ever get together or wouldn't get together for whatever reason, or there was like unrequited love, or I don't know. There was a lot of different types of videos out there, but that's the theme of most of them. Is these people were like, they loved each other, but they couldn't get together. Wild Orchid is a stupid movie, but a great soundtrack. Yeah. From what I remember of it, I think Jen's 24 Hours was better than the movie and it came from. Really? Gems 24 Hours. Ultraviolet. Okay. Now I got to go back and check that out again, because I don't remember that one. I don't remember it, but I'll bet it was good. High Fidelity, fantastic soundtrack. Amen. I do like that one as well. I do. Sexy Rexy. Not sure about that one.
We're talking Rex Manning here.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah. Is he? I'll have to go look. Hits from the Bond films. Yeah. Even Madonna did a Bond film movie, right? Or a Bond film soundtrack.
So did Garbage.
Yeah. Garbage. I love the way you say that.
Sorry. That's the way it's set up here. Garbage.
All right. Angry Otter wants to know, TC and Don, do you listen to Polina help pronounce that for me. Gagarina? Gagarina. Thank you.
I have not heard of her, but I wrote her down, so I'll check it out.
I am now I am writing her down. Yeah, if I could spell it right. There we go. I will. I'll listen to it now. This is where I get a lot of good stuff from you guys. Gross Point Blank. Actually, yes. That's not a bad soundtrack either. Garbage Did the World Is Not Enough. Yeah. Max Caulfield and Richard Greco. Her heart's a going. All right. Shirley Manson's been a crush for many years. Oh, okay. World Is Not Enough. Still connected. Is my favorite Polina song. It's Russian. Oh, okay. Thanks for dropping the link, hon. I will check that out. Thank you. John Cusack fan there on the tube. Yep. You betcha. All right. So John Cusack. Anybody going to throw that one out there? Say anything? Right?
I've never seen that.
No.
No.
The whole where he's holding the boombox.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They had a great Peter Gabriel song with that one, actually. So if you didn't know who Peter Gabriel was, you should by now. There you go. Okay, who's next on your list, sir?
Well, I'm going to go with what you were doing a second ago. Television,
Okay.
different types of television
Okay.
and radio. One of the strangest things you would ever think of for finding an artist you end up liking, and this is just two of them, but it led me to a whole other list here.
Okay.
You know those little 2 or 3 minute things they have that list the forecast and everything on the Weather Channel?
Ooh.
They actually have a playlist they publish every month of the different new age acts they play there. A lot of great acts, a lot of songs I've heard on there were artists I already knew from other places on television or from becoming a new age fan. Television is where I found music that I learned to love that was new age, that became part of my life. John Tesh, his early albums in particular. I'm not really fond of his later stuff, the Sax by the Fire stuff. That's not my bag. I like his keyboards. Pat Metheny Group, they used a song called Last Train Home on a local Emmy-winning local video here. And I was looking for that forever, trying to find the right album it was on. And I finally found that. I also, thanks to Entertainment Tonight, ended up finding Yanni, who I became a huge fan of, and Andreas Vollenweider, who I've talked to you about, and who I've tried to get you into, and I don't think you've really kind of taken to it.
I have listened to it when we find the discs around for they show up in our rotation of stuff. I'll listen to it.
Yeah, I love that, and then through them, and I got into new age radio, and I discovered a whole bunch of other artists like David Arkenstone, Friedman, Ray Lynch, who I have on my top albums list. His album No Blue Thing is a classic keyboards thing. The Telling, even Basia. I became a big Basia fan because of new age and radio.
Time and Tide.
She is phenomenal. I'd love to see her live. She's just awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Those are some of my favorites that came out of the television area.
All from 90s Weather Channel type things?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it started from the Weather Channel, and that led me to other. I mean, I'd already been listening to New Age, but Weather Channel, I later discovered would run. They played Pat Metheny, they played John Tesh, they played Yanni, they played in the background, and if you like what you're listening to, then chance. I mean, now I think they use mostly original productions, but back then they were using stuff they licensed, so that was pretty cool.
Cool. I didn't realize that. Neat. Okay, back to the chat. Sing Anything had the best love song ever. Joe Lies, Joe Lies, Joe Lies. Yep. And according to Veronica, Eurovision single-handedly taught her all the names of different countries in English and French. That's cool.
Gee, funny she brings that up.
Yeah, I know, right? No, somebody else said something about Eurovision too, and I might have missed it. There was somebody else who mentioned Eurovision. Where was it? Crap. It's back in the chat. Farther, farther, farther. Somebody had mentioned the fact that somebody mentioned Eurovision, and I'll find it. Anyway. Sorry. I missed you guys when you're talking about stuff. 90s Weather Channel. Patrick remembers these things. Yeah, see? Good. I guess I didn't watch the Weather Channel that much.
That's the one you're looking for, Dawn, and that was too early for me.
Disappointing it is, yeah. Yep.
I didn't come into it until 2016, and I haven't had time to find everything, although we will discuss it in a couple of minutes.
I bet we will.
It's the next thing on my list.
I bet we will. Of course it's on your list. He's got an actual paper list. I'm looking at the screen. All right. Okay. 90s Weather
You have
Channel.
2 monitors. I don't have my new monitors up yet. I have to
I'm not going to say this, but whose fault is that? There you go.
Yes, I know. I know.
It's not my fault. There you go. All right. You'll get it. You'll get it. Hopefully before the warranty expires, you'll get that monitor put in place. I know. He's going to now throw something at me. The brick, probably, that he's got from... Yeah. Okay. Baz Luhrmann? spelling?
Baz Luhrmann,
Romeo
yeah.
and Juliet movie. Oh, okay, yeah. That is pretty good too.
Yeah, those soundtracks led me to a bunch of different new artists from those two. They were great. Both of those soundtracks. There were 2 different ones.
John Tesh is good.
Depths of the 80s, since the first album didn't come out until 88. I don't know if that's the depths of the 80s,
That's not the
but
depth.
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
But
but
John
all of his
Tesh
good
was,
stuff came out from 88 to 94.
maybe he's
Everything
thinking
else
about when he was on
afterward
like
is just
Good
terrible.
Morning America. He's been on Good Morning America forever, right? Wasn't it John Tesh?
No, John
Wasn't it
Tesh was on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight. That was it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Thinking of the wrong guy. But he
Now
was
he's
on
a
that
radio
program,
host.
probably, and he's older, a lot older.
Yeah.
A lot older. Learn to appreciate Anya by being on hold. Do they really? The same one over and over again, probably. I grew up with Eurovision. Yeah, there you go. Why not? Boo says coffee shop in the 90s or college, and we played Enya and Enigma. I do like Enigma.
Oh, those must have really meshed well. And it's ethereal, and Enigma is all like kind of,
It's got a
depending on
beat
which
to it.
album it is, it's either native
pretty-
or Gregorian.
Yeah, but it's got a
And then-
beat to it too. So.
Yeah, it does. It all has similar beats.
Scott says, "Oh, brother, we're out." Though it was a nice sound. It is. It's a great soundtrack. I love that one. And another one that Joni hates. A bonus. Do you just listen to music to piss off your wife, Scott? Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
know.
I do that too.
I guess.
And so does Kim.
Mary and I have dislike. We listen to stuff that each of us doesn't like, right? So when I'm listening to the stuff, usually we'll pull it out when we're driving, and the person who's driving gets to listen to the music they want to listen to. So there you go.
Driver picks the tunes. That's the rule.
Driver picks the tunes. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is
Yep.
at our house, anyway. All right. My turn, right?
Yep.
So I did the fan fiction stuff. I'm trying to check these off my list as I go, because I don't want to duplicate. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, we did Explorers too. I talked about that, but we didn't tell you which one it was. Explorers. So you went with the actual orchestrated soundtrack, right? And
Yeah.
I'm picking out Little Richard
Right.
for Explorers. All Around the World was something that when that movie came out, of course we had a video store at the time, so I watched it a lot. And that I'm like, who the hell is that? Well, it's Little Richard. I was never that into Little Richard either. I don't know what
No.
I missed with some stuff, but I go back and there's some good music there. 50s rock and stuff. So Enigma takes you all the way back. That is a far back. Let me tell you. T-Bone Burnett. Oh yeah, it was very cool. It's a good soundtrack. Have you heard it? TC?
I've heard parts of it. I've never seen the film. I've heard parts of the soundtrack though.
You should watch the movie. The movie's actually really good as well.
Mm.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Kim watched it. She didn't like it. So
Who did?
Kim, she didn't like it. So
I liked it. I liked it. I'm trying to think
it's one of those Coen Brother films that it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. So far they don't really do much for me. The only thing they've done that I really liked was, isn't No Country for Old Men one of theirs?
Might be. That one I haven't seen yet. So
I like that movie. That was really good. Most of their stuff I'm not a big fan of, but it's just me. It's individual taste.
That's true.
The critics
I forgot
love
about
them.
that one.
So.
Well, I like that movie. I can't say I've seen No Country for Old Men yet. Yes, Patrick, the heavy metal soundtrack was amazing. I haven't really pulled any artists off that I didn't already know. But I do enjoy cranking that from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot see a red Corvette without thinking of that soundtrack at all, ever, ever. Because the movie had that in there. Best sound right now, Thunder. Oh, great! You're getting rain. Angry Otters that's great. They need rain badly.
Yep.
Did Larry sneak in? Larry snuck in. T-Bones. Diamonds are Girl's Best Friend. A cover is amazing. All right. I'm checking it, Larry. Thank you. T-Bones. Because I don't think I've heard that one.
No, are these the same T-Bones that did Whatever Shape Your Stomach's In from the 1960s? I don't think it's the same group.
I don't think so. God, I don't think so, but could be. That song's older.
Yeah.
They're both old songs. It could be.
They are, yeah. They go back to the 60s at least.
That's right. Thunder, great. Oh, T-Bone Burnett.
Ah, okay.
That's why.
Okay.
I'll want to. All right, you're up, buddy. And thank you again, everybody, for coming in. We got 5 minutes, so you better run through that list.
I've just got a few names there, but yeah, I'm very influenced by the Eurovision Song Contest. What can I say?
No,
and some of my favorite artists of the last 10 years or so have come out of that. Besides Daddy Fryer, who's topped my chart 3 times this year, who I just adore. Alexander
topped his
Rybak.
chart, not popped his chart. Just want to make sure everybody heard that right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Was it that bad? Alexander Rybak, who won in 2009 with Fairy Tale. Michael Sispak, Color of Your Life, one of my favorite songs of all time. Didn't do that well with the judges, but the fans put him in 8th place that year. Mae Muller, who I think you guys would love. She's got her album will be out this Friday, featuring her Eurovision hit "Me." I Wrote a Song and her current single "Me, Myself, and I." Really terrific from the UK, and the incomparable Dami M from Australia. She's currently at #1 on my chart with her single "Invincible." Love Dami M. She's just fabulous. I mean, she is an old-fashioned style. She's the one that did the Carpenters cover album I told you about. Yeah. And she is freaking awesome. There are plenty of other ones that I could get into, but those 5, I've actively sought out almost everything they've done. I mean, May's new, but the rest of them, I can't wait till Daddy Fryer comes over here again on tour, because I'm not gonna miss him if he doesn't go back to the Paradise. He was at the Paradise when he showed up in Boston last summer, and I'm like, I hate that place. I'm not going to that. It's a crap hole. I'm not going there. Is
it the only place they have for this guy? Yeah, they've got to be a better.
Hopefully he'll come to. I mean, I would have gone to see him if he'd been at the one of the better clubs, but Paradise, I'm not going to. Sorry.
Unless Styx shows up. Joking.
Unless who?
Styx. It was forget it. Paradise Theater.
Ron Paradise.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw Jan Arden at the Paradise years ago. Never go back to that place again. It's
bad,
just,
huh?
It's not as bad as the Orpheum, but at least the Orpheum has seats, so you don't have to worry about that.
What, you have to bring your own chair?
It's a nightclub, the dance club.
Oh, it's a dance club. Okay.
Yeah.
But
no seating, pretty much.
No seating. The Orpheum is a theater. You're absolutely right. Sorry. Forget. What do we got here? How did I forget Here With Me from the show Roswell? Here With Me. Who does that? Is it Dido? Because somebody said Dido, right? Question mark. Might be. Yep. Okay. Trickling in now, kids. The chat slowed down on me. Leaving Las Vegas is awesome. Come rain or come shine. Don Henley. Yeah. True. I do love Don Henley. Duet soundtrack has an amazing a cappella version of Free Bird. Really? Okay, I'll check it out. I didn't know that either. What?
I'll be sure not to mention that to my wife.
She hates Free Bird, or she hates
No, she hates any non-Leonard Skinner version of Free Bird.
Oh, come on.
She has a cow whenever the Will to Power version would show up, and I always find
I love the
hilarious.
Will to Power version.
I do too.
You not like that?
I do too.
Also really enjoyed Desperado soundtrack. That's cool. I'll check that out as well. All right, my last few lists here, real quick, guys, because we're running on the hour. I'll just go some honorable mentions that didn't quite make it. Rob Thomas, kind of rediscovered him from Meet the Robinsons, of all things. It's an animated movie. There's a song called Little Wonders. It's a beautiful song. You got to check it out.
Is that Rob solo or with Matchbox 20?
I think that was him solo.
Okay.
He gets credited solo, so that's just
okay.
Him. The Ramones. National Lampoon's Vacation if you guys remember that movie. The Ramones did Blitzkrieg Bop. That song, I discovered the Ramones that way. Everybody rediscovered Queen from Wayne's World, right? Pretty much. Everybody did. Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
It's
boy.
not a musical. It's not the musical, although they might give them time. They might put one out.
I was going to say, don't give them any ideas. Good Lord.
Silence of the Lambs. Okay, so Silence of the Lambs is on my list because I rediscovered Tom Petty through the song American Girl, because there's a scene in there where the girl who's going to get kidnapped is driving along. So there's that one. So you don't have to be a musical to have good music. And the other one is from I think it was an 80s movie, Running Scared. Had a Michael McDonald song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Sweet
very
Freedom.
good on that one. Figured, found that. And I think that's it. I can get into some other things, but we're running out of time. So I appreciate everybody for coming. This has been great. You guys have been full of information and stuff. Let me go real quick through the chat and make sure I'm not missing or forgetting anything. The duets, we did that. Desperado, we said that. No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Queen. It's a kind of, from the Highlander soundtrack. Again, yes. They did a lot of good stuff.
Patrick, I'd take your playlist over and practically everybody else on YouTube anytime.
Probably mine, too. But yeah. Especially mine. Okay, TC, tell the people where you're going to be, because we're going to close it up. You guys, go ahead and leave a comment after this, or go and leave a comment after the show. Let us know what else we forgot or missed. We're going to try to put these out so you guys can find them if you want to reference them, to check out some of these bands and artists we've talked about. That would be great.
Sounds good.
Go for it, buddy. You are up.
So what am I doing?
You're talking. Who are you going to be?
I'm everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. You can find me at TKR VideoCentral, Monday through Friday, plus Saturday and Sunday. I've got something up every day, whether it's this show, one of my other shows like Influencers, or flashback tracks, or Label Nova, or Kirkham Report, or one of my countdown shows, and Daily Obscuria, which is on every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. So, and I'm usually very often found anywhere where Don and Mary are when it comes to chats online too, whether it's here on Chick Chat, on Whatnot, or on Johnny's channel over at Cajun Roots Reseller, and Don's Southern Finds. So
there you go. And speaking of Whatnot.
You finally hit the cue right. Yay.
It's in my contract now, guys. Every time I'm with TC, I have to literally hit that button when I have to hit that button. But yeah, so TC made it for me, so I have to keep it. I have to keep it and use it regularly. Mary and I have a very busy week this week, so we're not going to be around. Does that make any sense? We're not going to be doing Chick Chat tomorrow because we're taking the momster to her brother's house to hang out while we're gone to the sale. We're gone to the reseller rally this weekend. So we're getting her out of the house and she can go visit family and stuff while we're gone. So that's cool. We will be on Thursday again, though, and we will be doing Wednesday's auction. We will not be on Friday. I will not be on Friday with Deals of the Dawns this week because we're going to be on the road and I can't sell stuff from the road. It's just not allowed. So we will be back Thursday.
Well, it would be allowed if Mary was driving. You could do it from the passenger seat, but you're driving probably.
But I don't have any. I'm not bringing a bunch of stuff to sell on Deals of the Dawns. No.
No, you just bring it on the phone. You just show it on the phone.
This is what we got. So yeah, we will be doing the Whatnot again on Tuesday. So that you already saw that little blurb for that. So we look forward to seeing you guys when we can see you.
So Whatnot is on tomorrow night then?
Yeah, we're on for tomorrow night.
Okay.
So I've already got the stuff uploaded. There's a decent selection of stuff. So come check us out. I already played that, so I don't have to play it again.
Come on over to Whatnot because it's fun. We listen to music, and it's really cool being able to hear the songs when you're actually bidding on them, which you can't do a lot of times.
No, you can't hear music usually, especially on YouTube. Thank you everybody for coming in. We really appreciate it. In 2 weeks, this show will be on TC's channel, so please subscribe to him if you haven't. The information should be in the description bar for his channel. And I really appreciate you guys coming in. This has been a lot of fun. This is a great topic. We learned a lot. I got a lot of notes again, so I appreciate it.
Terrific
always.
stuff.
Always. So take care, everybody. We all love you, and we appreciate everything. So thanks again. Out of here. Bye.
Bye.
Do hip kicks.